It is truly being revealed. And if you look in the right place, you can see exactly what is happening. Now, I know a lot of people say they have deep insight and they're sharing you what the insiders are telling them, but I got to believe that they don't really understand what is actually happening. But here's the good news, family. Here's the way to stay stoic and calm. If you just study history at a very, very, very deep level, you can predict patterns. History doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And we've been following Ray Dalio's changing world order, and it's playing out to the T. So in today's video, I'm going to show you how Ray Dalio's changing world order, we're going to do it together, world order is playing itself out to the T. And I'm going to show you how we're moving from an inflationary environment, the US dollar, or a system, a financial system, where we have more debt than we have income, where every single year you as an American, if you, unless you beat inflation, get a pay raise over 2%, you become poor every year, to a deflationary system. And it's a system, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, that the very bankers told you to run as fast as possible from. The very bankers that told you it was a pet rock, the very bankers that told you it was used for money laundering are the very people that are going all in on this asset class. And they're the very banks that are going to start implementing it within the next 2 years. So the first thing we're going to look at is Ray Dalio's changing world order. Then we're going to take a look at how people have flipped the script on you, and it's actually going to be part of your financial system. But before we do, I want to make a big announcement. If you did come to our Revive retreat in Arizona last year, if you want to hang out with me live in Arizona, it is our spiritual retreat. It's completely off the grid in a 40,000 square foot cabin. So if you'd like to hang out with me, Coach JV, the Good Morning Crypto Show, and our amazing team, this is all about disconnecting from all of this. It's connecting back to nature, connecting back to earth, connecting back to source, and breaking bread together. So down below, you'll see the Revive. It's almost sold out. So if you want to get your tickets now, you have to buy them early because this is in September. It sells out every single year. That's in the description of this video. All right, so let's dive right in. So we're going to take a deep dive into this. Once again, we've been through this over and over again. Ray Dalio's changing world order. Okay. This is the rise and fall of superpowers. Okay. If you look at this, if you look at the first thing, the first 8 is strong leadership, inventiveness, education, strong culture, good resource allocation, good competitiveness, strong income growth, strong markets and financial centers. Then when they start to get to the top, too much of a good thing, they start to peak out. Then countries become less productive, overextended, sounds familiar, right? Losing competitiveness, America. Wealth gaps, massive in America. Large debts, we have more debt than we have income. Printing of money, they printed more money than in history from 2020 to 2022. Internal conflict, the left and right are polarizing separation right now. Loss of reserve currency, the dollar is weakening, still the strongest currency in the world though. Weak leadership. I think we flipped to strong leadership. Civil war and revolution, which you're seeing within America. People are going against each other. People are anti-Trump, for Trump. There's a clear separation. But while all this is happening and while you're being distracted, there's a whole nother game playing itself out. Okay, Ray Dalio is the one that wrote that book, The Changing World Order. And a while ago, Ray Dalio wasn't that big on Bitcoin, but all of a sudden, he flipped. Billionaire Ray Dalio encourages investors to embrace Bitcoin over debt assets. Deflationary. Bitcoin, XRP are deflationary. Remember, we're moving from an inflationary US dollar to a deflationary monetary system. This deflationary system, Bitcoin specifically, can shrink the balance sheet in half by 2045. Okay. So that's Ray Dalio, who's Bridgewater, a billionaire investor. BlackRock's Larry Fink warns dollar risk, losing reserve currency status to Bitcoin. So they're watching a massive change in world order right now. And all you're seeing is a transmutation of industrial to technical, old archaic system to a new banking system, Web 2.0 to Web 3.0, public and private sector coming together. The old system is dying off. That's what's happening. So Larry Fink, the very person who told you that it was used for money laundering, is now, I'm going to show you, one of the second holders in Bitcoin in the world, larger than America. So let's take a look at this. So the top richest Bitcoin holders, number one is Satoshi. Remember, Bitcoin is created in 2009 after one of the greatest financial collapse in America. Satoshi, we don't know who Satoshi is. Number two is BlackRock, the person who told you to run as fast as you can. It's used for money laundering. He flipped his narrative in 2023, saying it was a flight to quality. By January 2024, they had a Bitcoin ETF, and now they're the number two holder in Bitcoin. Number three is now Strategy B. It used to be called MicroStrategy. It's Strategy B. He went from a software company and he is now a Bitcoin treasury. BlackRock is the number three holder in Strategy B. He was one of the top three holders in Strategy B when they were telling us that Bitcoin is used for money laundering. Think about that for just a moment. If Bitcoin's used for money laundering, then why would you be investing so much money into MicroStrategies at that point? Number four is Grayscale, and coming in a close second or close fifth, excuse me, is United States. And if you look at countries, United States number one, China's right behind it. So China's number two in countries, America's number one, and we have four companies that are larger, or three companies and one person or synonymous person that is the largest holders in Bitcoin. So think about that for just a moment. They know something we don't know. We could go all day back and forth, analysis, try to figure this out. There's something bigger than us happening right now. Okay. So this is how I make my decisions with stoicism. I don't do it based on riddles or opinions or this or that. It just doesn't work. What I do it on is based on logic. I do it based on fundamentals. I do it based on real investments and strategies that I think and I feel are going to be the best position. So what I make sure that I do is I look at it for what it is. We have more debt than we have income. I'm not going to store my money in the US dollar when it has 3% purchasing power. That makes no sense. I'm getting paid in someone else's debt. 50% of the population is in debt. Okay. 10%, the top 10% own 88% of the market. The 50% that are protesting against Trump or in the economy are actually, the economy is proving for them. Think about it. It's all manipulation, guys. The stock market collapse crushed the wealthy, but the wealthy was happy because they know what they hold. They bought more. It pumped the money into treasuries, forcing Jerome Powell to soon lower interest rates. And then you're going to see them turn the printing machine back on. They're going to take the printed money and they're going to go into these deflationary assets. And then eventually the system is going to reset. You're going to be in a brand new system where Bitcoin is going to be store of value like gold. Countries are going to hold it. It's only 21 million Bitcoin, and there's in the world, there's 8 billion people, and only 5% of the supply is left. You're going to see countries hold this and rebalance their balance sheets. You're going to see tokens like XRP, XLM, HBAR, Solana, ADA are going to change the world and the infrastructure of the financial system. You're going to see companies like Ripple become one of the most powerful financial institutions in the world. You're going to see Coinbase become a bank. You're going to see Kraken become a bank. You're going to see Wells Fargo custody your crypto, Bank of America custody your crypto, JP Morgan custody your crypto. Crypto is going to be part of your ecosystem. So it's very important to stay out of the noise. It's very important. Oh, there's one thing that I didn't show you. Sorry. Let me show you one more thing here. I missed a whole, let's see here. Boom. Here you go. Crypto experts expect global banking push into Bitcoin by end of 2025. There you go. It's here. You're eventually going to see, and I told people this in 2020. I said banks are going to start custodying your crypto in 2025. They got the approval in 2025. I predict by 2026, you're going to see bank commercials talking about investing in Bitcoin. I predict by the end of 2026, you're going to see banks working to custody your cryptocurrency. So first, we have regulation, then adoption. Okay, adoption is where they're like, hey, we're getting into crypto. Next is going to be tokenization of things like bonds, simpler things, right? Then they're going to go into tokenization of all assets, and that's going to take about 6 years, 6 to 7, maybe 2030, 2033 that they predict, right? So by 2033, Ripple predicts that we're going to go into full tokenization. That's your asset. That's the things you're investing in. So here's exactly what I do. Okay. I'm holding Bitcoin forever. We have a treasury for our company. I'm holding it for my family. I will borrow against it if we need cash from it. Okay. I'm not selling it. All other cryptos, altcoins, all other cryptocurrencies, I exit 50%, top of the risk pyramid. I bring it down the risk pyramid. First thing I always do is I like to pull the volatility out of my portfolio. First thing is I use tier one capital. I don't go into bonds for me. I use insurance. Insurance is at the bottom of the risk pyramid. It survived recessions, depressions, world wars. Insurance is the last resort. They teach you how to insure your house. They teach you how to insure your life. They teach you how to insure your car. They don't teach you how to insure your wealth. I insure a portion of my money. An index universal life, cash value life insurance. Some people use whole life. Okay. I make sure my family is insured and I make sure my money is insured. That allows me to bank on myself. Once those buckets are full, which is called max funding, I get into a little bit more silver for bartability. We continue to go into our dividend ETF strategy for cash flow, passive income, true passive income. We have companies, and I used my crypto profits from 2020 to 2022 to build cash generating companies and get equity in companies to create cash flow. From there, we're going to be getting more real estate for tax liabilities. And I just repeat that process. When I get paid by the cash generating dividends and ETFs, I de-risk back into Bitcoin and XRP. And I work to buy Bitcoin and XRP on a daily basis, dollar cost average. I have the same amount I buy every day. And then if I have extra cash flow, we call it dry powder. If we have dry powder and the markets collapse down, I buy a little bit more. Right. And so we're calmly accumulating. That's what we did in 2020 to 2022. When everything collapsed from 2022 to 2024, everybody ran from the fire. We ran into the fire. Now that everybody's running from the markets right now, we're continuing to buy. So it's important to stay calm. It's important to stay diligent and really understand what is happening. Nobody really has the insight. Nobody knows what's happening behind the scenes, but there is a much deeper picture that you can really dive into. You could really dive into it if you really want to get into it. This is all by design, all been planned out. It's not some shock the system. Oh my God, what's happening? The system shocks are on purpose, right? It's going to end with Bitcoin, number one. It's going to end with XRP, number two, or XRP, number one. That's going to take a lot, but it's going to be number one Bitcoin, number two XRP. Ethereum will get flipped by 2030. So that's what I got for you guys. Huge warning. I will never proactively DM you. Those are all scammers. QFS accounts are a scam. You don't need a QFS account. Please stop responding to these people. I do not invest people with crypto. We do not have a trading platform. I have resources for you to be very clear. I've helped 11,000 people since 2020. Crypto education, crypto courses, blockchain, live calls, market calls, community calls, example portfolios, example entry and exit plans. We teach you how to fish. We don't give you a fish. We teach you how to fish, and then we fish next to you. When the markets are going crazy, my team is live in there every day explaining to you what's going on. We have a market call on Monday to prepare you for the week. We have a Q&A call on Wednesday. We have a generational wealth building call on Thursday. We have tons of information in there. We have 3,300 active people right now in our community. It just keeps growing. We've had 11,000 people come through our community, but active on a daily basis, over 3,000 people. It's one of the largest crypto communities in the world, and we're grateful to be there to support our people. But that's why our people are calm, we're stoic, because we practice and we work harder on ourselves than we do anything else. On the other side, I get tons of messages on how I use cash value life insurance. Okay. I want to share with you a resource for that. I like to bank on myself, infinity banking concept. I use Index Universal Life. What I do may not work for you. So what I created is a resource for you. My team can sit down with you and do a full retirement strategy with you. That is in the description down below. Okay, if you click the link or you click my bio, you'll set up an appointment with my team. They can talk to you if you have large amounts of cash that you want to secure, we can teach you how to insure your wealth. We can teach you annuities, income for life. We can teach you how to move old 401ks, or if you have, questions around that, we can teach you, infinity banking concept, bank on yourself, Index Universal Life, cash value life insurance. We'll help you with all that stuff. So we love you guys. We appreciate you. As we always say, warriors, rise, get your shit together. Love you guys.